What's up, everybody? My name is Josh Rodriguez, and we're here in the ADV headquarters, which is literally, as of now, my parents' backyard with a shed that I bought. It's making too much noise. Let me see if I can stop it. But with oh, okay, so I fixed the door problem. It's a shed that I bought a few years ago, so I can store all this equipment. And I'm gonna show a clip. It's pretty messy. Which this January we're gonna focus on cleaning up the place, making it a little bit better. Um, I say a lot. So I kind of want to give a little bit of brief history. I think there'll be a separate video on how ADV started, where my mindset was, and where I am today, and what are the future goals for ADV and my personal life in the business world. I'm nowhere near where other companies are here in my area, on YouTube, obviously, or even Facebook. We see all these bigger companies with bigger and fancier equipment, but I would like to share with you guys what I'm doing right now in my journey. I'm 29 years old. I'm going to be 30 in July. I started this company when I was like 23, give or take, 23, 24. So I've been in business for a couple years, and the first 3 to 4 years were probably 3 years were the roughest I've ever been, in the sense of mentally, physically, and it was one of the worst times of my life. And I'm going to share a little bit about that later on. But in the meantime, I kind of want to introduce myself again. I'm hoping I can post on this YouTube channel more frequently and kind of give you an idea, or not an idea, give you kind of like my journey and what I've so far have done with this company. That we still got a long way to go. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but this is my story, and maybe you guys can relate with a few things. Maybe you guys can drop in the comments maybe a few suggestions that you guys suggest. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you guys around. Right here we have. I like to go camping whenever I get a chance, and I've only when I say that I like to, I'm only gone twice. But I want to go more in the future, and this is where I keep my stuff. I want to just start sharing all this. Don't try to steal my stuff. But here we have all the the oil the oil for our equipment and our trucks. Right now we're up to 3 crews, so we have 3 crews right now rolling. I'm hoping maybe the next year or two to have another fourth crew, but I think next year is going to be a year of paying a lot of our debt. So I want to be very lean next year, with our debt. So I don't want to owe anybody any money, whether it be loans, banks, whoever. And we can break down more of the debt that ADV has in a separate video. So we got a lot of content to share with you guys. But here we keep all our tools. So we have the trimmers here, the weed eaters. But I think there's a better way to store this, but we'll find that out later. We have seed here, which I think a mouse got into it because I don't know, maybe not. But I have fertilizers here and like seed. So in different tiers, we have fertilizer. In the bottom, we have seed, which we need to fix. And I'll point you guys here. And then here we have blowers. Some of these are old that I'm going to try to sell. And then over here we do some tree jobs, obviously something that we can handle. We don't have any bucket trucks or anything like that, something crazy. But during Hurricane Helene, I bought 2 saws, which are under here. And I bought that book bag with some, like, not climbing rope, but like some rope to bring down the tree, the arborist rope, and the little weight to go around a tree. And then we have some bar oil and some oil up there for hydraulics for the mowers. And we have that. I'm taking classes to do fertilization weed control. So that's a different section of the business I want to do. So the main guy, or the main business, is ADV, so lawn maintenance. And then I want to do a separate division that does the weed and fertilization control. But that's going to take some time, probably a few years. But I got to learn everything, in which I'm studying now. Over here we have a little bit of everything. We have the top over here. We have some of the mower blades that we change out one breaks, and we sharpen. We try to sharpen at least every 2 weeks or three during the growing season, which should be more frequently, but work in progress. I like to buy that mixing oil. I'm trying to buy a pack or two a week if I can, for when the spring rush comes. I'm not rushing and being all over the place. And we got, man, this needs a good cleaning. But right there we got a Ranger Pro, obviously herbicide, and we got some other liquid herbicide. We got some gas cans down there. Blue for us means mixed, like with mixing oil, and then the red obviously is the regular ones. We got some tires. I got to find a better place for those guys, for the trailers and trucks and dump trailer that we have. We got a lot of batteries. Two are for the dump trailer and a few for, like, the mowers here. And we have one of that one's a good one. That's we use that for fertilization weed control. Um, that we have some that we do like spot treatments. So we use that. I forgot what brand that is. I can't really see, but that green sprayer we use for, that's the one that's electric, which is really nice. Obviously, we got that one that you hand pump. And we have some hand trimmers, which is kind of cool. We have our schedule kind of for the day, our program. And I have this dump trailer that I bought maybe a few years ago, a year ago, actually, not a few years ago. I wanted to do another company called ADV Rentals, which is still pending. I'm not sure when that's gonna get into fruition. And then a few mowers. This yellow one, the Hustler, I got from a customer pretty much for free, but something's wrong with it, which I didn't know at the time, but I got to fix. This right here, this right here is something that I'm gonna work on this year. Try to put you guys there. I don't know if you guys can see me, but this guy is our leaf removal. I bought it from a guy in Georgia that was leaving his industry business. So what I'm going to do is, I've used it 2 years. I've had it for 2 years. It's a third year. What I'm going to do is take the Billy Goat vacuum, leaf vacuum, take it out, debris loader, whatever you call it, take that out. And this has done really good. We're going to use it. We're using it again this year in the fall. But I'm going to try to purchase a dump trailer next year and like fit it up, put like bigger walls on it and a tarp or like one of those breathable tarps on top, and then obviously put that there so it'll be easier to do the leaves, because we got to manually take the leaves out with hard rakes, and it's a lot of time wasting and etc. So that's the goal for next year. In the meantime, though, you gotta do what you gotta do with what you got. So the next thing, I don't have the trucks here because the guys are gone. Trying not to show you too much of our house per se. We have extra trailers over there. Oh man, this mower right here has been a pain, to say the least. I think we're gonna keep you guys like that. So, oh man. So the story with this mower, I bought it. So I had one of my guys at the time. I bought a 36-inch Toro, right, grandstand, and so he was looking on Facebook Marketplace and he saw a guy that had two of these guys off of Georgia, and he was willing to trade the newer version that I had. It had like maybe 300 hours or so, maybe 200 that I bought, and to trade that one that I had for two of these guys, 52-inch. And for me, it was a good purchase. Why? Because our properties are half an acre, some quarter acres, but they're pretty big. And the 52, man, it just knocks them out like pancakes. So the plan was to basically do a trade-off, and in the long term, it worked out. The other one, pretty much the engine blew, so at that time we didn't decide to fix it. This guy, the engine blew now, and it's going to be $4,000 to get it fixed, and I think I'm going to go for it because I'm looking on Facebook Marketplace, and a new one, obviously we financed a new one this year, and it's 13,000, and so we got it down to a little bit of 12, but we'll get it paid off soon. So buying a new one just doesn't make sense. So I'd rather spend 4,000 to get it. The motor new. I spent already 3 on the transmission before the motor blew. So I feel like it's worth it. And the metal's still really good on it. Everything's really good on it except for the motor, obviously, that makes it, run. But I think what I'm going to do is just get it fixed. I think that's probably the better decision. We'll see. But these guys, man, I have another video on a different channel where I was talking about my setup, and I had the little time cutters, which, no hate on the time cutters. They get the job done, and we still have we have 2 right here in reserve. And but honestly, like, if you can, I would try to buy used to begin with, like I did. But if you can, try to get you a grandstand. It just changes like how fast you do it. the efficiency, which is really important in this industry. It's all about efficiency. That's what I would try to do. And I didn't know much about these guys. I honestly I got introduced by one of my teammates. I didn't really know what the grandstand really consisted. I was kind of intimidated by them honestly at the beginning, but man, they're game changers. And maybe in the future I'll show you pics. I started with like a Troy built, a little steering wheel one, and then from there I upgraded to the zero turn, and that was very intimidating. I wish I would have taken videos of us trying to drive it with me and my dad trying to figure it out, and that was mind blowing. I was so happy when I got like a zero turn, a little time cutter. But then this guy just changed the game, and we have pretty much all stand on riding mowers. I have a Wright standard, and that was a really good mower as well. But for me, I don't know. I just like the grandstands. They just seem easier, not easier, but in the sense of like it just seems better, smoother. They take hills really well, and our fleet right now, we have one grandstand, one standard. They're all both 52. We have a sit down Toro one that's 52, and we have a standing one. I think it's a grandstand or whatever you call it, 36. So there's a fence. I just purchased that one like a month or two ago off of Facebook Market, but it was a good buy. Everything's good on it. And next is to fix this guy, get it ready for springtime. Right now we are in December 17th, so we got time. And man, we got a lot to do. There's so much stuff to do, busyness, and sometimes we just don't do productive stuff. But maybe like me right now, doing this video right here and talking to you guys. But I I don't know. There's so much to talk about and so many videos we could do, but that's a future video. But we'll see what happens. Follow this journey. I might fail, I might not. I've been doing it probably for now, I think 6 years. So I passed the 5 year mark. But am I gonna pass the 10 to be continued? And a little bit of my background, I grew up with pretty much nothing. No, my on my dad's side, his siblings are pretty business savvy, but my dad is not, and that's okay. But I pretty much the only like support I had obviously is my dad, instead of helping me, and just grit, man. Just try to figure it out as you go. Made a lot of mistakes, and I'm still making mistakes and still learning, but just got to keep going. Always got to keep going and hustling and working every day if you can. Obviously, like, I like to have days off and off time, but and when you're first starting out, you have to do like 6 days a week, maybe seven. I just remember it was grueling, and I had an employee of mine. I'm not gonna say his name, but man, we were putting in the hours, and he left, and the way he left was kind of a little gut wrenching because I still miss the guy and I wish him well, but I think it's because we overworked him, or really I overworked him, and I was there with him. It wasn't just him doing it, obviously, but we were both working till 8, 9 p.m. for months, and I think it just kind of, he's like, man, this isn't the way to do it. And I'm lucky because I don't have kids or anything, but he had a family. He has a family, kids and stuff. So I don't blame him, honestly. I was so inexperienced and didn't know what I was doing, and I still learning. But from those mistakes, I learned. So that's a little bit, kind of a rambling video, but that's just the introduction. So we'll see in the next video what I'm going to talk about, and see what happens.